Welcome back, woodworkers. So you've achieved a successful mortise and tenon joint, and that's great. And ideally, the fit here and here should be sufficient for keeping a nice strong joint for eternity, minus any fires, of course, or floods. So this is good, and if you have a well-fitting joint here, you should probably be okay. But there are times when maybe this isn't going to be enough. Maybe you have to think about how to make this joint stronger. And so with this joint, you'll see that I've already extended the length of the tenon. It doesn't end on the same plane or flush with whatever the mortise material is. So by extending this, I have an option of throwing in some mechanical advantage in the way of some wedges. And these would then be referred to as wedge tenons. If you think about why this is important, if we have a leg here or anything that's going to be introduced to any type of trauma or leverage in this environment, then it starts to make sense that in addition to the long grain connection that you have in this joint, maybe we'll have something that locks this in top and bottom. It doesn't give the opportunity for this to start wiggling loose, because over time this is only going to get worse and more loose. So wedging these things in is probably an appropriate choice for dealing with the strength of this. This is a little step stool that I've made, and you'll see that I have this example in this location here. So wedge tenons, and those have increased the dimension of the tenon top to bottom, not side to side, but top to bottom. The reason that's important is that it has got to, these wedges have got to be in a perpendicular orientation to the long grain of the mortise board. It's a mouthful, let me say it again. I need to have these wedges be introduced 90 degrees to the long grain. If I were to reverse the orientation here and have these wedges going in line with the long grain, I can start driving these things in, and then it will start to wedge or pry this joint apart, and it could split this board. So it's really important to go perpendicular to these. That's the strongest orientation for this joint to be. Some people have done diagonal pieces, corner to corner, and that's okay. But there's a lot of material to move here. On a joint like this, I would encourage everybody to do two little flaps, top and bottom, and those get wedged. And by doing that, you have a really strong joint, and it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy to do. And so that's what we've done. Okay, not much to it. We're going to start with a bandsaw.